Hello again, Gregg Bell, the News Tribune, here at Lumen Field in Seattle, home of the NFC Champion Seahawks. When it ended, Leonard Williams was running around looking for people to help hug. He took Julian Love's little toddler kid and walked around the field with him. He said he didn't know who else to grab. He grabbed his former Giants teammate's child. Ernest Jones, former Ram, took his helmet and just chucked it down the field and started running anywhere. Bedlam everywhere. Byron Murphy put on glasses that said Seahawks win, blue and green. Jackson Smith and Jigba jumping up and down. Devin Witherspoon put his hand on both his hips at midfield. And Sam Darnold, he put an NFC Champions cap on in the middle of the field, and he just shook hands like he was a doorman at the hotel. Just shook every single person's hand he could find, and they were congratulating him. Sam Darnold has a lot of haters in the football world. After the game, I was talking to Devin Witherspoon in the locker room, and he said all those people who hate Sam haters, they got to look themselves in the mirror right now. And they do. Sam Darnold was 346 yards, 3 touchdown passes, all of them against Rams blitzes. First time in the next-gen stats era that a quarterback in the NFL, in any NFL game, has thrown 3 touchdown passes, all against pressures with no interceptions, and that was the key. No turnovers. Mike McDonald, after the game, the coach for the Seahawks, said it had to be one of the greatest performances in NFL postseason history by a quarterback, considering the fact that Darnold barely practiced this week. Hardly got any first-team reps because of his oblique injury. I asked him if he ever practiced so little in a full week before playing in a game. He said, that's a good question. He said he didn't think so. Yet he put in his finest performance yet of his career and his biggest game of his career. And all those who say Sam Darnold can't win the big game just did. And got the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, which Geno Smith didn't do. And that $100 million contract in 3 years looks like a pretty good bargain for Seattle that they gave him in the spring right now. Players in the locker room after the game, Leonard Williams saying, Sam Darnold bailed us out. Sam Darnold and Leonard Williams have known each other since their days at USC about a decade ago. There's no doubt there were a lot of heroes tonight. Devin Witherspoon, 3rd and 4th down breakups in this end zone right here with 5 minutes left. The Rams' last chance to take the lead down 31-27. I asked Witherspoon after the game, it looked like you were running the route for Terrence Ferguson, the tight end, from right to left across this back line of this end zone. He laughed. He said, yeah, I did, because I knew it was coming. He said they'd run a 7-cut to the outside earlier in the game with Ferguson, and he knew, the Rams knew, the Seahawks knew that. And so he guessed correctly that instead of outside, Ferguson would run inside. And that's exactly what he did. And Witherspoon ran around the route for him and was inside of him on the 4th down play to knock it down. Nick Emanwari was fantastic tonight, especially early in the game, making tackles in the open field. Again, guys catching passes and going straight down. He also jumped Reek Woolen on the sidelines. After Reek Woolen had a 3rd down stop, it looked like he pass break up at Puka Nacua. It looked like the Rams were going to punt in a 2-score game early in the 4th quarter, late 3rd quarter. And then Woolen started prancing and wolfing on the sideline, taunting. You could see the official from the press box. I could see the official talking to Woolen to tell him, get away, get away. And Woolen kept prancing and kept wolfing. And the official threw the flag for taunting. 15-yard penalty, 1st down for the Rams. On the next play, Matthew Stafford to Puka Nacua right over Woolen for a touchdown. As they came off to the sideline, Nick Emanwari let him have it, let Woolen have it. Ernest Jones had to separate him. Kobe Bryant had to walk Emanwari away from Woolen to the other side of the sideline. I talked to Emanwari about it afterwards. He said we were heated and we're competitors, but that he called Woolen a brother, and we've been brothers. And that's the way it is in a competitive game. They dapped it up. They went on and played the rest of the game. Mike McDonald praising Woolen for how he played after that penalty. A lot better when it wins, of course. But Emanwari, Ernest Jones, Kobe Bryant, and Reek Woolen got through that. And now they'll kumbaya it on to Super Bowl 60. 4th Super Bowl in Seahawks history. No major injuries coming out of it. I talked to Charles Cross, the left tackle who played with a foot injury. He said he's really going to take advantage of this bye week this week. The Seahawks will have a few practices, and then they'll go down to Santa Clara, site of the Super Bowl, either next Sunday or Monday. Usually it's Sunday. Jackson Smith and Jigba after the game talked about how the team had entire faith in Sam Darnold since OTAs. They were talking about his work ethic. Charles Cross said the same thing. I asked him, when did you get bought in on Sam Darnold? He said, when we saw in OTAs back in April, May, June, on how hard this guy worked in the spring, an 8-year veteran quarterback, and how prepared he was back in the spring. And that buy-in started then. We talked before about how 100% participation in the volunteer programs by all the Seahawks veterans. Mike McDonald still points to that as a key to this team being so tight. But Cross was saying that tightness with their quarterback, seeing how hard he was working, really increased the trust level of a brand new quarterback with a new locker room. He said he couldn't win the big one, he just did. Sam Darnold, one of the better playoff performances in NFL history, 346 yards and 3 touchdown passes with no turnovers. Again, the Seahawks have a defense that can win most games if Sam Darnold doesn't turn the ball over. Yes, the Seahawks gave up 400 yards again to Matthew Stafford and the Rams, but they won because their quarterback didn't turn it over and, in fact, played one of the best games of his life. All my coverage at thenewstribune.com, on Twitter X. At G Bell Seattle. Will be at Renton all week. I'll be heading to Santa Clara next weekend. I'm covering Super Bowl 60 for the News Tribune as always. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.